Hi guys, it's Lily,
And this is Clover.
and welcome back to
All the tea we cannot sip.
It's Another Evening, Clover, of
It is.
trying
We've
to
been working all day and coming
we
home
have.
to sit down and do the pod.
Oh, it was definitely a Monday. Uh,
It
I
was.
I don't know how your weekend went, but our furnace went out again,
Oh,
and it's cold. Well, thankfully it was fixed while I was at work. I didn't have to do any of the work to get it fixed, and my house is back to a comfortable 70 degrees, unlike my shower this morning at 58 degrees.
oh my gosh. I'm so glad it got fixed. Being cold is one of the worst feelings.
Because you don't want to do anything. You can't
Yeah.
get out of bed because that's where it's warm.
Oh, well, did you at least get to read anything really good or watch any good new shows or movies since you had to be all cuddled up?
Well, I did rewatch some of the Big Bang Theory because that show
Oh.
kind of comforts me and it always makes me laugh. And I watched a new movie with The Rock and Kevin Hart, but it's like every Rock and Kevin Hart movie, so it's not really worth saying what it's about.
What was it?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It's like it kind of reminded me of like 21 Jump Street in a way where it showed them back in high school and then they're going to their 20-year reunion.
Oh, is it the one where Rock plays like he works for the government or something and he was really
Yes,
uncool? Actually love that movie. I can't remember the name of it, but
it
I've seen
was
it
really
many times.
funny. It was really funny, but I do feel it's very similar to all the other movies that they're in.
That may be. I think they're really cute. I think they have good chemistry together, but I do feel like some Hollywood movies are just written as a money grab,
It,
and that is probably one of them.
yeah, well, I did watch Jumanji and Jumanji 2, but I really liked the first remake of Jumanji. The second one I had to turn off because I didn't like watching The Rock talk like Danny DeVito. I love Danny DeVito, but it just wasn't funny and it was going on too long.
Yes, I do like the remake, but I agree. We saw the second one in the theater. So I've never actually gotten up in a movie theater and left, but I haven't rewatched it either. Whereas I have rewatched the first remake of Jumanji
Yes.
a couple times. It is very funny. And I
Uh,
like how they paid homage to Robin Williams in it, like when they went to where he had lived and Nick
yes.
Jonas's character said,
It's just his house and he's just staying
yeah.
in it. Yeah, that was a really good part. I've never walked out of a movie either, but I have fallen asleep.
Oh, see, that's like the worst insult to a movie, but serves him right.
And it was an IMAX movie, and I
Oh
basically
man,
paid $17 to take a nap.
that sucks. I remember my husband and I went to see the first 50 Shades of Grey movie in theaters, and there was an older couple sitting in front of us, and the husband was dead asleep. And I remember thinking, you're going to be in trouble later. Of all the movies to sleep through, that's probably one he is upset he missed.
Yeah.
There's a lot
I
of titties in that one.
Oh gosh, I remember I was like 18, I went to the movies and we went to go see Rambo and I said I wish I was at Alvin and the Chipmunks again and the guys in front of me got so offended.
I don't blame you. I'd rather see Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Which I did. My boyfriend at that time, he had taken me to see it and he fell asleep, but I loved it.
Oh, well, at least you guys took turns.
Well, no, I went to Rambo with some girlfriends, but I didn't pick the
Oh,
movie.
uh, so I was gonna tell you, um, we were talking last week I think it was a really good pod. So if you haven't listened to our previous one, we talked about music we love and we talked about some music conspiracies. And something that came up a few times, mostly for me, is that I love big, muscly arms on men. So as I was looking for clip art and photos to use in our podcast, just when I thought I had seen everything on the internet, like nothing would seem weird to me, here I go finding pictures, I guess this is a thing, of celebrity women photoshopped to have huge muscles. So specifically the ones I found were Kardashians photoshopped to have huge muscles. And I am horrified. And at the same time, I'm like, why does it kind of look good?
That's so funny.
So I'm sending you a couple pictures of Kim,
That does look kind of good.
right? And then here's Kendall.
She kind of looks like China, the
Yeah,
female
the old
wrestler.
wrestler, rest in
Yeah.
peace.
Oh,
And
I
then
forgot.
Chloe, it really works on Chloe. But I don't know if it's some fetish thing.
Oh, yeah, because that looks, it's not as big as the other ones. So it does look proportionate to her hips. And I think it looks good.
I just did not know that was a thing, but apparently some people just spend their time photoshopping celebrity women to have big ass muscles.
Which, I mean, that's kind of better. I used to find the ones where it was celebrities with no teeth
Oh no.
or celebrities with no eyebrows. And those are
Oh,
hilarious.
that's creepy. I don't know what I would look like with no eyebrows, and I don't want to find out.
I know. There are some drag queens that shave their eyebrows. Trixie and Katya both kind of said, like, I still kind of want to look semi-attractive as a man without having to do the work of drawing in eyebrows, not in drag.
Good point. Because
And yeah. Oh,
that's commitment.
that
Once you
is.
shave them,
But Jenna Marbles just shaved hers off for a video one time, so
gosh.
oh,
Well,
she
you
was
pay
so
me enough
funny.
money, I would too,
Oh yeah. She
but
was like,
nobody's offering.
yeah. No, nobody wants to see that either. I don't want to see it on
No.
myself, and I'm not very good at like even filling in my eyebrows, so I don't even think I could recreate an eyebrow.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, they have those temporary tattoo ones, and I would probably have to go that route because I could never make the match. I can't make the match now, and I have hair.
I know. I have like 3 or 4 different eyebrow pencils that are all kind of off. So I just kind of make it work, whatever
Yep,
I'm
do what you
feeling
gotta
like.
do.
Yes.
So yeah, I just thought you'd get a kick out of those photoshopped pictures. And it's just funny the way people spend their time. But that's kind of what our podcast is about today, because today we wanted to talk about fan fiction.
Ugh.
People spend a lot of time writing fan fiction.
And some are really good, but I think most what we're going to talk about are the not so good ones.
Right. I mean, as we were researching for this episode, I was actually surprised. I found a couple that I really liked, but yeah, it's way more fun to talk about the cringy ones. So we did do a little history of fan fiction for you, in case you're like me and didn't really know how it started or what. So fan fiction is written by fans and usually covers copyrighted material that already exists, whether it's video games, movies, books. I saw TV shows, that sort of thing. And it's usually these fans feel connected to these characters and want to write stories that use these copyrighted characters that they have some sort of connection or fandom with. I did not realize how old fan fiction actually is. One of the earliest cases I found was from 1917. It was called The New Adventures of Alice by John Ray, and it was published more than 50 years after the original Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. But it followed this girl named Betsy who opened up a book in which Alice was reading nursery rhymes to her cats, and she kind of gets sucked into this Wonderland adventure. And it actually got published. I don't know if this was before a bunch of laws, but I thought that was pretty interesting that it's been around for so long. And we found some other interesting cases of popular fan fiction that actually ended up getting published. You found an interesting one.
So, Clover, you know I love me some One Direction.
You sure do.
There is a published book that was based off of One Direction fan fiction.
I did not know this, and I find it very interesting.
Yes, it actually came out in 2014, which was during the height of One Direction. They did change the names of for legal reasons. It's based on a punk Harry Styles is the main character. And they did make a movie about it. In 2019 it came out.
I had never heard of it. Had you?
No, until we started going down the fanfic rabbit hole, I didn't know.
That is
And
crazy. I think we need to read it.
during the pandemic, I read everything I could find about One Direction. So I'm surprised I never came across it.
It's
But
592 pages, and there's another book. There's like a sequel.
the 5 book series is called After.
There's
After we,
five?
yes, after we collided, after we fell, after ever, happily before.
Oh
Okay,
my gosh. I don't know if I can commit to reading it now.
that's so many. So the characters' names, Harry Styles' character that this fan fiction was based on, his name is Hardin Scott.
Harden. I love that. So I am looking at the character's name. Zed Evans. That must be Zane, right?
Yes.
Hardin's friend from college who is interested in Tessa. And it says that the book was criticized for glamorization of an abusive relationship, poor character arcs, and Todd's lack of style and prose. But it also says that before it even got published, she had 1 billion reads online because she originally put this on Wattpad, it looks like.
That is so many.
That is so many. So people obviously loved it. And that kind of like brings us to what we're talking about, right? Like, is it weird that these people sit down and spend so much time writing about characters and places that someone else created? I don't know. Like, there's characters that I care about that much and have fantasized about what their life was like after the book. I just haven't sat down and written it, but maybe other people are really interested in those things.
I think for me, even if I think about what happened after, I just I can't believe what it has to come from the author for me.
I see. So what about like in cases like this where it was based on certain people? And this is different too, right? Because One Direction, they're real people. They're not characters that another author wrote. So I think that does make it different. But let's look, for instance, at 50 Shades of Grey. Huge following, got very popular. They obviously sold millions of books. She got deals making sex toys, and they made 3 or 4 movies. I think it was 3 movies. So E.L. James, who is known for creating the 50 Shades of Grey series, originally posted the books on fanfiction.net because it was a Twilight fanfiction. And the best part for me is the pen name she used, which was Snow Queen's Ice Dragon.
No.
And that just cracks me up because it makes me think of Dungeons and Dragons or something. It was originally called Master of the Universe, which she probably had to change when she got it published because I'm pretty sure that's a He-Man or She-Ra reference
Oh,
that
yeah.
already existed. But it got so many views and readers and comments on fanfiction.net that people were telling her you should get this published. So she did the same thing as the after author we were just talking about, and she just changed the names. But you can still find the original online, which I did because I think it's really funny to read it as a Twilight fan fiction. So I just wanted to read a part, if you don't mind. So this is a part where in 50 Shades, Anna, but in this, it's obviously Bella. So Anna slash Bella just graduated or is about to graduate and is getting drunk with her friends at the bar and calls Christian slash Edward kind of just to tease him and hangs up and like he freaks out because she's drunk and comes to save her. So she's just hanging up with him. Good night, Edward. Bella! I hang up. Ha! Though he didn't tell me about the books. I frowned. Mission accomplished. I am really quite drunk. My head swims uncomfortably as I shuffle along the line. Well, the object of the exercise was to get drunk. That's what it's like. Probably not an experience to be repeated. The line has moved, and now it's my turn because she's waiting for the bathroom. I stare blankly at the poster on the back of the toilet door that extols the virtues of safe sex. When have you ever been in a bar that had a poster about safe sex? But anyway, holy crap, did I just call Edward Cullen? Shit. My phone rings and it makes me jump, and I yell in surprise. Hi, I bleat timidly in the phone. I hadn't counted on this. I'm coming to get you, he says and hangs up. Only Edward Cullen could sound so calm and so threatening at the same time. Holy crap. I pulled my jeans up, so she was peeing. My heart is thumping. I'm going to be sick. No, I'm fine. Hang on, he's just messing with my head. I didn't tell him where I was. He can't find me here. Besides, it will take him hours to get here from Seattle and will be long gone by then. I wash my hands and check my face in the mirror. I look flushed and slightly unfocused. That will be the tequila then. I wait at the bar for what feels like an eternity for the pitcher of beer and eventually return to the table. You've been gone so long, Rose scolds me. Where were you? I was waiting in line for the restroom. Jacob and Eric are having some heated debate about our local baseball team, yet you couldn't look up what team that is and say it. Jake pauses in his tirade to pour us all beers, and I take a long sip. Rose, I think I'd better step outside and get some fresh air. Oh, Bella, you are such a lightweight. I'll be 5 minutes. I make my way through the crowd again. I'm beginning to feel nauseous and my head is spinning uncomfortably and I'm unsteady on my feet. Blah, blah, blah. Bella, Jake has joined me. You okay? I think I've had just a bit too much to drink. I smile weakly at him. Me too, he murmurs, and his dark eyes are watching me intently. Do you need a hand? He asks and steps closer, putting his arm around me. Jake, I'm okay. I think I've got this. I try and push him away rather feebly. Bella, please, he whispers. Now he's holding me in his arms, pulling me close. Jake, what are you doing? You know I like you, Bella. Please. He has one hand at the small of my back and holding me against him, the other at my chin, tipping back my head. Holy crow. It does say holy crow. He's going to kiss me. No, Jake, stop. No. I push at him, but he's a wall of hard muscle and I cannot shift him. I'll stop there, but you get the gist.
It was hard because that is very similar to part of the 50 Shades book.
Yes.
But I was trying to imagine 50 Shades, but I was still imagining Twilight. Because when I read 50 Shades, I didn't know that it was based on fan fiction.
Right.
Because I read them when they came out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I read Twilight after all the books were out. After the first movie came out, I read all the books. It is kind of cringy when you change the names back.
Right. I love the 50 Shades movies. I tried reading the books and I got through the first two, but then I just couldn't keep going because I do think she's not a great writer, but her story I liked. But when, yeah, when you turn it back to the Cullens, it's so cringy, but good for her. Maybe I just need to write a really good Harry Potter fan fiction and change the names and become a millionaire.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Right? Oh, so yeah. So there have been cases where obviously people have turned fan fiction into a career. It doesn't happen all the time, and I think a lot of fan fiction isn't good enough to get that much attention, but it is very interesting, and we wanted to talk more about those interesting fan fictions today.
Yes, and I did forget to add that the author of the After series, her name is Anna Todd.
Oh, that's good to add, yes.
And I can't find out how much the books made, but the four films it made 150.6 million
There
in.
was four films?
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know what theaters they're at because I've never seen them on Fandango.com.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. I feel like one of the sequels you named, I've seen the preview for that movie, but I had no idea that they had anything to do with One Direction. It sounds really funny, and if it wasn't so long, I would want to read them, but I just don't think I can invest for 3,000 pages.
No, that's a lot. And there are so many other books to read that,
Right.
and you know that I've done this in the past where I will read something by a certain author and I will get obsessed and I will burn myself out. I did that with 50
Mm-hmm.
Shades. I read them one after another. I did that with Twilight. I've done it with multiple authors and I just
Well,
get burnt out
yeah.
and don't finish because I don't take a break and read something else. Maybe I would read the first one, but I definitely would not invest that much time into reading 4 or 5 books.
Did you say you did get burnt out with 50 Shades?
I did. I did finish it, but it was kind of begrudgingly.
Well, it's also possible that they got worse as it went on because that's how I felt trying to read them.
You're right, it's not good writing.
Yeah.
It's very
Oh,
mass produced.
we could probably make a whole podcast picking apart 50 Shades of Grey. And I also have an interesting conspiracy theory with it too. But yes, I mean all the cases of she just repeats herself a lot and a lot of the character development is just so shallow and some stuff doesn't make sense. And I also hate books where people's problems disappear because of money.
And I think it was so big because it was raunchy.
It was.
And a
And
bunch of housewives want to sit at home and read that.
exactly. And you know, I would like to see more BDSM movies and storylines and stuff because I'm into that. But also, it was so problematic when it came out because there's all these like rules and respects and like processes to do BDSM safely. And this woman didn't write any of them. And you had all these idiots going out and hurting themselves or getting in potentially abusive relationships because of the ideal that she wrote about. So I feel like we as mature adults can look at it for what it is and get enjoyment out of it. Like I said, I freaking love the movies. I think they're better than the books and they're really fun to watch. But I also think not everyone reads with critical thinking.
No, and I was gonna say, you said that we're adults. I read that book when it came out and I was like 21 or 22.
Hmm.
I didn't have the critical thinking that I have now.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And I think in a way that is why so many people like fan fiction. Like, I don't think they're picking it up expecting it to be a masterpiece. It's just comforting. They're usually quick reads. There are some fan fictions that are very long. And, there are some people who just write raunchy, nasty fan fiction, and people know they're just reading it to get off. They're not,
Yeah,
they're not looking for a Nobel Prize.
I can appreciate wanting to escape and going to
Hmm.
comforting characters like Harry Potter, like Twilight. I can see that, but a lot of what's out there is nasty and raunchy.
It is. A lot of it is sexual, which is very interesting. But I mean, have there ever been fictional characters that like you had the hots for and would fantasize about?
When I think about fictional characters, it makes me think back to the first time I was ever really attracted to a character. And I was really young, but the first time I ever wanted to be with somebody was Slater from Saved by the Bell.
Really?
Yes, I thought he was so dreamy with his muscles and his hair and it's not even that I love Mario Lopez. I loved AC Slater.
He was superior to Zach. Let's be real.
I know he was. And I think also probably Topanga from Boy Meets World. I wanted
She was
to
perfect.
be her. I wanted to be her friend.
Hmm.
She was beautiful, so attractive. I was very young when both of those shows came out. So it was
Hmm.
probably reruns, but that's what I remember. Mainly AC Slater because he is the best. And Kelly Kapowski. I wanted to be Kelly, but Slater was who I wanted to be with, and
Oh, yes.
not even, like I said, Mario Lopez, just Slater.
Yes. Well, and his character did get developed throughout the show. Like he was a jock, yes, but he also had a sensitive side and he liked Jesse, who was like the brainy one, right?
Yes, they dated.
Yes, so cute.
It was cute. What about you? If you could pick one fictional character, who would it be?
See, I feel like I can relate to these fan fiction people, even though I don't read it much or write it, because I have too many and it's embarrassing. But one who really comes to mind, and I've never told anyone this in my life, Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. I'll send you a picture because I don't know if you've seen that movie. And I'm not a DC girl. We are a Marvel family, and this is DC Comics. But I saw the movie. I think I was still in college when it came out. And Dr. Manhattan, again, I'm not really into DC, so I don't know the backstory that much, but I think he was a scientist who studied atomic bombs, and there was some kind of accident, and he got turned into this being who can live a long time and can access quantum physics in like different dimensions and stuff like that. But he's tall and blue and muscly.
So
And there's
I
a sex scene in that movie, and has stuck with me forever. And I'll admit, there are times with my ex that I pretended I was with Dr. Manhattan.
I have heard about that sex scene because I've never seen Watchmen, but I did watch Trixie Mattel turn themselves into Dr. Manhattan on their channel with the blue paint.
Oh, oh, off to Google.
So yeah, so I know who the character is, and I think that's cool, and that is a really cool picture.
Oh, Trixie Mattel transforms into Dr. Manhattan. Wow.
Yes, so I do know the character. I don't think it's embarrassing, and
Maybe a
sometimes
little, but maybe there might be some people who need a good Dr. Manhattan fan fiction. So I just
mm,
need to find my niche. That's all. So, speaking of how so many of these fan fictions end up being sexual in nature, you were doing some research and found some really funny fan fiction ships.
yes, I have a list. Some of these are very outrageous. I'm just gonna dive right in with the first one that I found. Mainly on listicles on the internet and Reddit. I found these Thor and Rocket, the
That's the
raccoon.
raccoon?
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah.
Oh no. There's so much wrong with that.
Oh, if you think that that's wrong, Harry Potter and Fox the Phoenix.
No.
Yes, people are writing about this. How about
Oh,
how about Voldemort and Pikachu?
Voldemort and who?
Pikachu.
Why are they all animals? But they're even not they're not real animals.
I thought this one was funny. This one is Naruto and Vanilla Ice.
So they're not even from the same universes.
No.
Come on. I
Um,
think fan fiction should at least stick to the canon, like the world that was created. That's why I have a problem with 50 Shades being a Twilight fan fiction because why would Bella be friends with Rosalie?
they're not friends.
Exactly, but in her version, they were roommates. They were roommates.
uh, this is another one. It is Jean-Luc Picard and Lord Elrond from Lord of the Rings.
Well, I mean, you had me at Patrick Stewart
I
or
know.
Jean-Luc Picard.
Jean-Luc. I love Jean-Luc.
Me too. I would rub that bald head.
He is my favorite Starfleet captain, Jean-Luc Picard, but Next Generation is not my favorite Star Trek.
I've heard that a lot, and I think that's fair. He's a hard captain to live up to. But later seasons had the benefit of better graphics and a lot more experience.
Yes. There's also fan fiction about Snape and Hagrid.
Oh no.
No, 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 no. I can't. There's so many things wrong with that.
So
Hagrid
many.
is beautiful and pure.
Yes. He would never do something like that.
No. And this one is one of my favorites. Jesus and Hitler.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, we know who the bottom was.
Oh gosh.
Oh man. See, I wasn't expecting any of those. My mouth is open.
Picard and Lord Elrond. That I think in my mind, okay. They're around similar age, they're the same species. I mean, one's a wizard, one's an elf, but they're both human-like and not animals and people. um, I did fall down a little bit of a rabbit hole about this. There is a fan fiction that is Christian Harry Potter, and it's Harry Potter, Hogwarts School of Prayer and Miracles.
Wow.
I can't even. I did read that it was very like anti-feminist, that they have characters in it that women who want to work don't believe in God and they're stupid because they want to work. And
Wow.
yeah, I don't think I could read that fan fiction because it would make me so angry. Because one, Harry Potter's classic, and two, you can't just change something that already exists to fit a narrative like that.
Right. It's like using something popular who so many people love and have felt changed by and using it for your own agenda.
I definitely feel like that's bordering on the line of propaganda and not fan fiction.
Interesting.
I
Yeah, could be.
just because you're trying to fit a narrative that wasn't there.
And you're
Because
trying to make your kids feel better about the fact that you won't let them read the real Harry Potter.
I know there are people we went to school with that who I know that were not allowed to read Harry Potter. My
I
husband was
know.
not allowed to read Harry Potter.
I had a neighbor who, and she actually did consider herself a witch. And she was older than me, like old enough to know better, but like she had a spell book and stuff. But her stepmom burned all her Harry Potter books, and that should be instant jail.
I know. I actually saw like a screenshot of somebody's Facebook event that was about burning books.
Oh,
Like they wanted people to make their children check out books from their school library and they would burn them in the parking lot at the PTA meeting.
wow.
And then they were
That's
like,
so
I know
messed
you'll
up.
have to pay for it, but we'll get these out of there. And I'm like, what are you so afraid of? That your kid is going to read something that makes them question your views?
Exactly.
Ugh,
That they won't turn out just like you, that they'll have outside influence and think for themselves. The horror.
the horror. God
Oh,
forbid my son turns out to be a better person than I am.
well, those are the kind of people who are writing Harry fucking Fox fan fiction. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I know. Oh, I saw one about Dumbledore and the Sorting Hat.
Oh my God. Well, at least that somehow sits better with me if I'm being honest.
Oh, I actually have a little screenshot of part of it. This says, this is a line. It says, Albus reached into the hat and touched something hard. It wasn't the sword of Godric Gryffindor.
Oh my gosh. If there's one thing I found out when researching for this episode, it was that there are so many categories of fan fiction that I never would have even thought of. I was on fanfiction.net and I made a list of some of my favorites. Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? Had thousands of submissions. I don't know
Really?
what there is to say about that.
Did you ever play the PC game?
I did. It was fun.
Those were really fun. There was also like a cartoon, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being on. I don't know if it was a cartoon or live action, or it was kind of both, I think.
Yeah, I remember multiple shows. It was very popular when we were kids and even before we were born, I think.
But you're right, at the same time, I don't know where you would go with that.
Right. It's just not one that I think of people being really attached to that character, but they obviously are. Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman had over 1,000 fan fictions.
That sounds so boring. I've never been able to finish an episode of that show.
No, it's like something our grandmothers watched.
Yeah, it was
Um,
boring.
yeah, not a show you would think people are making a lot of fan fiction about. Now, CSI, Crime Scene Investigators, had 27,000 fan fiction stories. And that is CSI alone because CSI New York had its own category with 10,000.
Wow. And I bet there's one for CSI Miami.
Maybe. I actually didn't look. Frozen had 12,000, and I knew that was a popular Disney movie, but I can't imagine 12,000 fan fiction stories about it. Kim Possible had 10,000.
That's old.
Yeah. I mean, I know they made a remake movie a couple years ago, and I know kids who are talking about it, but yeah, that is very old. Ghost Whisperer, did you ever see that show?
No, I saw the one Ghost Rider.
Ghost Whisperer is based on this real woman who I only know because she was someone's friend on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but she's a psychic, acclaimed psychic who used to help the police department solve crimes. And she's friends with Kelsey Grammer. So Kelsey Grammer made a show about her. And she only has a pitiful 503 fan fiction stories about her. But
But
that's better than Kill Bill, which only had 214, which made me sad because the one I read was really good. But
Huh.
yeah, I thought those were some interesting categories.
That is really interesting.
The highest ones were like Harry Potter, Marvel, a lot of different animes had a lot of submissions, Twilight, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Harry Potter is definitely a there's every single
Combination.
combination, and there's even one where the giant squid in the lake gets with the castle itself.
Oh my goodness.
Like, that's how far people are reaching into that fandom.
These people, see, back in my day, I remember going on mugglenet.com, which was all about Harry Potter stuff, because this was when all the books hadn't even been published. So a lot of people would go there and there was forums where people would predict what was going to happen and stuff. And people would write fan fiction. And I remember some dirty ones, but it was always like, you know, between actual human beings,
Yeah,
not these disgusting scenarios.
like Harry and Draco, or, you
Yeah.
know,
Or Draco and Hermione. I actually ship them. I've been rereading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and I forgot about this part where um the Death Eaters are marching and they have like the muggles floating above them and stuff, and Draco's in the forest and runs into the trio and he keeps saying to Hermione like basically you should get out of here, and he's trying to make it say it in like a rude way, like they're looking for mudbloods, or muggles. But he told her like three times to get out of there before someone sees her, and I can kind of see how that's interpreted as maybe he was trying to protect her,
oh, that is
and
sweet.
says something about her bushy hair,
Oh,
right? Because I can see like how he would have a crush on her and know that his family would never ever approve.
oh yeah. Especially in the beginning of the series. I mean, even at the end of the series, I don't think they would have approved, but even less so at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, another one that has a lot of fan fiction, Supernatural.
Ooh, see, I never got too much into that show because it kind of scared me. Like I just don't want to have nightmares, but
Yeah.
I know it's really popular.
Oh, I've seen most of it. My husband's watched it a couple times over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's really big. The only thing that gets me is the incest because people
There
write about them
is?
together. Well, no, not in the show, but the fan
Oh,
fiction.
I was like, damn.
This is not Game of Thrones, but
Right?
no, the fan fiction is about them together, some of
Yeah,
it,
that's weird.
and they are brothers in the TV
Mm-hmm.
show. So that's a little put offish. I don't know the right
Yeah.
word, but
I am
well,
thankful that on fanfiction.net you can sort by the rating, so I don't
uh,
have to see some dirty ones. Because, like I said, there were a few I read while we were researching for this that were good. They were cute. But speaking of ones we were reading, did you have any you wanted to share?
yes, I did find one. This is funny because I don't know if you know this about me, but if I am on a PC, I will always open Internet Explorer. I will not choose anything else. My husband thinks I'm a sociopath, that I should use Google Chrome like everyone else, but now it's Microsoft Edge. They did change it to Microsoft Edge. It's not Internet Explorer. I still use Microsoft Edge over Google Chrome like a crazy person. So I did find a fan fiction that is about Google Chrome and Internet Explorer, and this is called Forbidden Love by Time Lords and Wizards.
Oh
And I
my
found
God.
this, it was on fanfiction.net. It says, for the first time in what felt like forever, Internet Explorer felt himself being opened. He had missed this, the feeling of being wanted, to be searched on, to help the human do his will. The human's will used to involve the usual sites, Club Penguin and Moshi Monsters, to name a few. But then he was neglected with his only pop-up ads to talk to. It was hell. The reason for this was the estimable Chrome. She was the browser everyone wanted to be. Even Firefox, who sat reading in the corner every day, had a niggling wish at the back of her software that she could be just like Chrome. Just have some of her style, then maybe she would get used by the human. But this was nothing compared to the opinions that Explorer had about Chrome. Why should she get all the attention? Why should she get used by the human while Explorer sits unused for years? But yet, today, when the human accidentally opened Explorer while Chrome was open too, he got a deep feeling inside. That feeling was a bizarre mixture of contempt, strong jealousy, and although he would never admit it, passion. And it goes on another long paragraph, but I just thought that was so funny because
Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
just talking to some people about how I will always pick Internet Explorer.
That is so funny. I love it. Oh my God.
Yes. So I found that kind of made my whole Monday because it was out there enough, but it wasn't like nasty. Like
Yes.
it was it was funny. It was just a good time.
Well, and it's creative. That's a combo I wouldn't have thought of, but it's hilarious.
Yes, and that's a combo that can go together and not make you like what?
Cringe, die inside.
Yeah. Oh,
So
like
I was
Voldemort.
looking, All the
Oh,
Tea We Cannot Sip is uh kind of a joke and a pun off of a book that we both love, All the Light We Cannot See, which is a book based on World War II, when Nazis invaded France and how it affected some characters in this book. It's so amazing. I just don't want to give stuff away. But I was really excited when I saw that someone had an All the Light We Cannot See. It says, a different ending for All the Light We Cannot See. It's on fanfiction.net. The user is Jerry Mao 2000. And I was really excited. So opened it up after the war. Werner was struggling under a pile of rubble. Nothing except a radio. And that's where I stopped because he said he wrote accept, like I accept your apology instead of EXCEPT. And I was fucking done. So fuck you, Jerry Mao 2000.
oh I totally get that.
Sorry, not sorry. You got me excited and let me down. But I did find a Barbie one that I found a little humorous because apparently there's a lot of Barbie fan fiction. This is called Barbie Super House Party Fun Time 3. The username is Sonic Dongers and it's 327 words. The category is romance and spiritual, which I thought was interesting. Listeners' discretion is advised. Ken walked across the hardwood floor of the dream house. His foot falls heavy with the weight of a seemingly unforgivable sin. He wasn't sure how he would break the news to Barbie, his beloved, but he knew it needed to be done. He approached her and gently tapped her shoulder, trepidation in his every move. Barbie, there's something I need to tell you. What is it, Ken? Barbie was nervous. She seldom saw her lover with such a look of apprehension upon his face. I let Elizabeth in the dream house. Ken looked at the ground in shame, knowing Barbie would disapprove. I told you not to let that slut near us. I know, babe, but the thing is, I have needs. Aren't I good enough? Barbie harbored a jealousy over Elizabeth, over her dark brown locks, curvaceous form, and haunting hazel eyes. Side note, Barbie doesn't have a friend named Elizabeth, does she?
Not, I can
There's
look it up while you keep going, but
That's
I don't think so.
what makes me mad. There's like Teresa and there's other friends, Raquel, that he actually could have used, but whatever.
Or
But
Skipper, her little
yeah,
sister.
oh, that would be fucked up. There, I'm sure that exists. The only things Elizabeth lacked were morals and an astute intellect. This in itself wasn't necessarily a flaw in the minds of young men she often bedded. Of course you are. I just thought we could try something new. What's that? I thought maybe we could have a threesome. Elizabeth was the only woman skanky enough to agree to it. If I could have found someone else, I would have. Just try not to look at her face. So Ken, the like supposedly most handsome guy in this Barbie universe, can't even find someone to have a threesome. Okay. Barbie would have no trouble keeping her eyes elsewhere. Elizabeth had a wonderful body, and Barbie was looking forward to exploring it. So she goes from extremely jealous of this person to totally down for a threesome. Okay. Okay, is Elizabeth still there? Barbie was growing eager at the thought of a threesome. The truth was, she loved Ken, but longed for something more. Yes, she's in our room. We'll all meet there tonight. Okay, Ken, I love you. And I love pounding two chicks at once. What was that, dear? Barbie asked with concern. Oh, nothing, darling. I'll see you later. Ken and Barbie went their separate ways, awaiting the events of the night. What the hell?
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, I can't get over that.
There's so much wrong.
And Barbie's BFFs are Teresa, Nikki, Summer, Midge, Raquel, and Grace.
Right. There is no Elizabeth. This guy ever even played with a Barbie? I doubt it.
There are so many. She has other friends too. Those are her BFFs. But there's Francie and Christine.
Oh my goodness.
I think Midge was her first best friend.
I think you're right.
Oh, I did go down to where on Google it says barbiemovies.fandom.com. Elizabeth Dosselmeyer is a character in Barbie's Nutcracker.
Does she have long brown hair?
It's actually like up in a French twist with chopsticks.
Hmm. Well, so okay, so maybe it was an actual character, but I would still like to know why he categorized it as romance slash spiritual.
Oh no, no, no. So I just fell down a Barbie rabbit hole, and I don't know if you know this, but from 2004 to 2011, Barbie and Ken broke up,
Really?
and she was
Ooh.
dating an Australian surfer named Blaine.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Elizabeth.
So, yes,
Blaine.
yeah, I was looking at a timeline of Barbie, and they broke up on Valentine's Day 2004, got back together on Valentine's Day 2011, but she did start seeing another. But he did get a makeover in 2006, so maybe she dug that.
Well, I have to Google Blaine. Let's see. Oh, he kind of just looks like the Australian Ken, doesn't he?
Yes,
I was
I
expecting something different. Yuck.
I know. I guess they fell back in love when they were on Toy Story 3 together.
Cute. Did you have any other fan fiction you wanted to share?
Don't think so. I don't know if you saw this also in your deep dive, but it seems like Shrek is very big in fanfiction land.
Yes, I saw a lot of Shrek, and I did save a Shrek fan fiction called The Honeymoon is Ogre. And It's short, so it wouldn't take too long to read, but it is kind of raunchy, so it's up to you.
If it's too raunchy, we can bleep the raunchy bits.
Yeah, I think for to be safe, we'll bleep any gross bits, but I just was chuckling at the end of it. So the honeymoon is ogre. Shrek wasn't one to discuss or really think about his married life. Guess you could say it tweren't no fairy tale like he imagined it to be. He couldn't believe that Donkey, of all people, or animals, was what? You gasped?
Is it Donkey and Shrek?
No.
Oh, okay.
It makes even less sense than that. Just wait. Animals was having a more stable marriage with that flying beast he called a wife. Of course, he was happy for him. He was a good friend after all. Probably his best friend. As sad as it was to admit a donkey was your best friend. For an anniversary present, he had recently been sending his wife to a human masseuse to get knots and clots out. He figured it had to be working. Fiona gave him less of an upper lip. Yes, yes, yes. There was a strange sight indeed, even for this place. A rather large ogre was bent over, green dress hiked up. Her once done up red hair became loose and fell apart from the sweat pouring down her straining face. Her once proudly worn tiara had come off and rolled away as well. Behind her, however, was a comparatively smaller and flesh colored man who was thrusting into her giant green bulbous. This is all your disgusting ogre good for. She didn't respond, lost in the pleasure and lust of it. He cracked her with a hard blow. Say it. She could barely feel the slap, but she responded in kind. This is all my disgusting ogre good for. She reached back with one hand, spread her big cheeks to show her resignation, and he nodded to himself, as if this was anything new between them. With a few more thrusts, he pulled out of her loose. Flip over, you ogre. His voice was tinged with genuine revulsion. She jumped at his command. Grabbing onto her fat thighs, he went balls deep into her disgusting pie of a kitty. He preferred the of ogres, as it at least had the tightness of any of the local horrors used up kitties working the streets right now. The only reason he ever bothered with this bloated opening was to use every part of her before sending her on her merry way. Am I better than that ugly monster that is your husband? He locked onto her heaving features. Strands of her hair matted to her soaked face. Yes, oh yes, she screamed out. That's all he needed to hear. On your knees, beast. As painful as it was for her to do it, Fiona pulled herself from him and dashed across the floor to him, scraping her knees as she did. He had already begun pulling his pud. You want it? You got it. He strained out the last words and shot into her waiting mouth. It hit her goofy looking teeth and her comically overblown tongue, which searched out for more of his essence, unintentionally brushing her teeth with his hot seed as she did. If you were colorblind and stumbled upon this scene, you'd at first think it was a mother and her healthy exuberance to experience the fruits of her labor. It was a much worse scenario than that. What does that even mean?
I
All
don't
right. If
know.
you were colorblind and stumbled upon this scene, you'd at first think it was a mother and her healthy exuberance to experience the fruits of her labor. What does that mean? It doesn't
I
seem like English. Fiona, almost done. Fiona's mouth widened to swallow his hole in an attempt to get more. Away from me, he shouted in earnest fear as he tried to push her away. But Fiona had already wrapped her burly arms around his waist, not wanting to ever stop. Mwah. Fiona laid a sloppy kiss on Shrek's cheek. He rubbed at the recently created wet spot. What's the occasion? Oh, just that I love you is all. Fiona smiled at him before walking off. Shrek had to hand it to himself. He really knew how to handle this relationship stuff.
oh, oh
What
my
the
god.
hell? Who wrote this? Chris Chan?
Oh gosh. Oh, that's a topic for another day.
That's true. We don't have time for Chris Chan today.
Get me going on a roll.
But if I had to have this burned into my brain, so do all of you. So you're welcome.
That is so terrible.
So
Oh my
terrible.
gosh.
And it seems like it was written by someone who's never had sex in their life.
No. Who has only seen porn?
Yes.
Oh no.
I weep. I weep.
What did the beginning have to do with any of it either?
Because Shrek apparently hired a human massage therapist for Fiona. And then it like cut scene to the massage therapist and he's disgustedly, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I'm gonna have a lot of bleeps to do, but it was worth it.
At least bleeps are royalty free.
Yep. Oh, did I mention who wrote this? Because we got to give them credit so they don't sue us. The Honeymoon is Ogre by Timed Watcher. Um,
Ugh.
get some therapy.
I think I need therapy now. Even more. But
I'm not knocking therapy. Therapy's great.
no, it is.
But Shrek pornography is not my thing. I
I
won't
don't think
yuck
I
your
want to
yum.
know anybody whose thing that is.
Well, that's the thing. Who knows? I mean, I hope my coworkers don't look at me and think, yeah, she loves Dr. Manhattan. I can tell.
At
So
least
who
Doc
knows?
at least Dr. Manhattan in the movie is supposed to be an attractive
Yes. And it would be
superhero.
consensual,
Yes, not a
whatever the hell that
children
was.
children's character.
Oh God. I've seen some terrible Simpsons pictures on
Oh gosh,
accident.
on accident.
Oh man. Well, now that we've filthied our brains with some fan fiction, we thought it would be fun to have AI write us some fan fiction. So the website I found was toolbaz.com. So TOOLBAZ.com. It was one that I found that was free and easy, which I like because I don't want to pay money just to have fun with this stuff. Um, but yeah, so do you want to try it out first? What should we do?
Um, Let me go to the website. All right, so I am on this website. It just says, "What do you want to write about?" And it has a box to enter title or topic here. I'm going to put romantic fan fiction about Louis Tomlinson and a woman named Lily. I am not a robot. And it's writing.
I'm so excited.
Okay. It just starts off by saying Louis Tomlinson is one of the most popular members of the boy band One Direction. He is known for his good looks and charming personality, which makes him a perfect candidate for romantic fanfiction. In this story, Louis is dating a woman named Lily. The two of them are madly in love with each other, and they can't get enough of each other. They are always spending time together, and they are always making each other laugh. They are the perfect couple, and they are always there for each other when they need it.
That is hilarious. That's already better than anything Ice Dragon Snow Queen ever wrote.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, what should I do? Okay, I'm going to put a sexy fan fiction story about, let's see, about Dumbledore and Gandalf. Let's see if adding sexy makes a difference.
Because we just make each other laugh and we're perfect for each other.
Yes. Okay, that was fast. There's something about magic that just makes it so damn sexy. Maybe it's the way it can make the impossible seem possible, or the way it can make the mundane seem exciting. Whatever the reason, there's no denying that there's something incredibly alluring about wizards and witches. And what could be more magical than a story about the ultimate wizarding power couple, Dumbledore and Gandalf? In this steamy fanfiction story, Dumbledore and Gandalf are two powerful wizards who just can't keep their hands off of each other. They're always exploring new and exciting ways to get each other off, and their wild adventures always end with them both feeling completely satisfied. Whether they're using their magic to make each other feel good in bed, or using it to make each other's clothes disappear so they can have some fun in public, these two always find a way to make their sex life even more magical. If you're looking for a story that's guaranteed to make your heart race and your pulse quicken, then look no further than this hot and sexy fan fiction tale about Dumbledore and Gandalf. Oh my god, that's amazing.
That is that is pretty great for it taking like 2.5 seconds.
Right? Now I feel like a loser that I've been writing the same book for 5 years.
Well, I, AI, it can grab everything from the internet all at once
True,
and
true.
generate it. So they know that Gandalf and Dumbledore are wizards and they can do
Yes.
magic.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it had a lot to pull from with those two characters. Okay, you should try another one.
Okay. Funny story about Lorelai Gilmore and her mother, Emily Gilmore. Now it's writing.
I'm excited.
Oh, oh, it says Lorelai Gilmore and her mother, Emily Gilmore, had a funny story. Emily had always been a bit of a control freak, and Lorelai was always the rebellious one. One day, Emily found out Lorelai had been skipping class, and she was not happy. She decided to teach her daughter a lesson and make her sit in her room all day. However, Lorelai found a way to make the best of the situation and had a blast. She even managed to get her mother to join in on the fun. In the end, Emily learned that she needed to lighten up, and Lorelai learned that she could still have fun even when she was in trouble.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's kind of true. I mean, it's kind of generic, but it is, you know, Lorelai was rebellious and Emily was uptight and a control freak, and that's why Lorelai rebelled.
So you could see that being an episode.
Yeah, they did a couple flashback episodes, and I could see it like in that flashback episode type of thing.
Oh, okay. So now let's see if it can do sad. I'm gonna put a very sad story about Dobby dying in Harry Potter. Oh, it said Bobby. There we go. Freaking autocorrect. Needs to read Harry Potter.
I always think of Bobby Hill from King of the Hill when I hear the name Bobby.
Me too. Oh, see, this might just be pulling from the real one. Dobby was always a loyal and obedient house elf, and he did everything he could to help Harry Potter. So it was especially tragic when Dobby died at the hands of Bellatrix Lestrange. Harry Potter had just escaped from Malfoy Manor, and Dobby had followed him. Bellatrix saw the house elf, and she immediately started throwing knives at him. Dobby was hit by one of the knives, and he collapsed to the ground. Harry Potter ran to him, and he was devastated to see that Dobby was dead. He had lost a loyal friend, and he would never forget what Dobby had done with him. See, that's not even as good as the real thing. But look how fast it did that. Kids could totally use this to write their English essays and stuff about a book they didn't read.
Yeah.
Look, can you scroll to the side of this website? It even has a poem generator. Oh, story generator. That's the one we should have done.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to keep messing around. I don't see it on mine, but I'm also on the mobile app.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
I
on
found
the
it.
yeah, there look, there's a rap lyrics generator. Okay, one more. We have to try this one. So enter a few words or phrases for lyrics. So this is you, girl. Tell me and I'll type it.
Let's do feta cheese,
Ooh, feta cheese.
big city,
Did you say Dick City?
big city.
Oh, sorry. I'm on fan fiction mode.
Let's do
Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne. Yeah, and you pick one, or you just did pick one, Lil
I'm
Wayne.
gonna do Poppin' Prozac.
Oh yes.
All right, we have feta cheese, Big City, Lil Wayne, and Poppin' Prozac. Anything else? What's one of your favorite lyrics from an actual rap song?
Uh, right now it's you don't need cash to pound this gash.
Gash with a G?
Yeah,
Okay, you don't need cash to pound this
yeah,
gash?
yeah.
Okay, you keep me young. All right. Oh, okay, here we go. It's only like one hook. In the big city, you can find all sorts of cheese, but my favorite is feta. It's so damn delicious. Pop in Prozac so I don't feel the blues. Lil Wayne on the radio, he got the perfect beats. Twerking the splits. I'm looking so damn fine. All the boys in the club, they can't resist. I'm the queen of the twerk, and I'm feeling alive. It doesn't even
Yay!
rhyme.
It does not even rhyme.
That is terrible. Well, we've got a long way to go, AI. Long way to
Yeah,
go.
because there's even a thing on here for to write a thesis statement.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh. Kiora answer writer? Like you're answering questions on the internet and can't even come up with your own answer?
Isn't
What?
Kiora just like Reddit?
Quora is kind of like, did you ever use Yahoo Answers?
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's its own website.
Oh.
And so people get points and stuff when they give good answers. But I'm like, how sad is your life that you have to cheat at that?
That is really sad. Because what, you want some made up point system on the internet to tell you did a good job?
Well, I guarantee you that is who is writing Shrek porn for fanfiction.net. I guarantee you.
Oh, that was that was a lot.
That was.
I
Should should we end it on a light note with some Mad Libs?
oh yes.
All right. So the title of this Mad Lib is Meeting One Direction. So give me an adjective.
Let's do delicate.
Ooh. A verb in the past tense.
Sang.
Body part.
Sigh.
Oh, thigh. Sorry, I'm hard of hearing. A verb in the past tense.
Wrote.
Ooh, romantic. A noun.
The first one that came to my mind is pizza.
Let's do it. An exclamation.
Oh, wow.
Another verb in the past tense.
Jumped.
An adjective.
Soft.
And two verbs.
Cook and point.
Point.
Yeah, like pointing, like
Okay. And then the last one is a noun,
doe.
like a deer, a female deer.
Yeah.
Okay. Play it. All right, it's generating. Oh, wow, this is really short. I'm kind of pissed off. Meeting One Direction. Today I met my favorite band, One Direction. I was so delicate, I almost sang. Louis put his thigh around me, and Harry wrote me a pizza. Oh, wow, I exclaimed. Next, Zane let me jump his soft mirror. Later, Liam taught me how to cook, while Neil let me point his dough. Today was the best day ever. Harry wrote me a pizza. I know you wouldn't mind Louis put his thigh around you, though.
No. Whew, that's the best one. I'm glad they picked Louis first.
That was lucky.
Oh, yes. Let's see. All right. This one's called The Good, the Bad, and the Itchy. I need an adjective,
Itchy.
a silly word,
Moist.
animal plural,
Kitties.
a noun,
Kingdom.
an exclamation,
Fuck.
a place,
Castle. I feel like I'm on Family Feud and doing really bad.
part of the body,
Neck.
a verb.
Kiss.
See, it's harder than on the
Mm-hmm.
spot. An adjective,
Fluffy.
an adverb,
What's that?
uh, a descriptor word ending in ly, like lovingly,
Oh, okay. Um, gracefully.
type of food,
Mexican.
an adjective,
Pink.
occupation plural.
Teachers.
Jesus, one's long. Type of liquid,
Oh, a coffee.
another verb,
Dance.
adjective,
Big.
a noun,
Daddy.
another adjective.
Sexy.
All right. All right. The good, the bad, the itchy. It has been a hard, itchy day on the moist trail. The cowboys drove a herd of kitties across the dry plain, kicking up kingdom along the way as they looked for someone to bed down. Fuck! One of the cowboys said when he came across a gritty cowgirl at a lonely campsite. The castle looked as good as a place as any to grab some shut neck. Besides, it was quitting time to kiss the horses and grab some grub. The food sure smells fluffy, said one of the cowboys to the cowgirl as she gracefully stirred a pot of Mexican over the fire. Gather round, you pink for nothing teachers, and grab yourself some stew and a hot cup of coffee. I'm gonna dance you a tale of the Big West and all the stars with a song I learned on this here daddy. A song about the good, the bad, and the sexy.
Why are Mad Libs so funny?
And this is the actual Mad Libs app.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, that made me giggle.
that is so good. Ugh.
Oh, I I think we should create a Mad Lib and post it on our social media this week.
Yes,
We'll make
we
an all
should.
the tea we cannot sip Mad Lib for people to do.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun.
Let's do it. We can AI generate it.
Yes, we'll find it. Oh,
Oh,
well,
well,
I
do,
think
that was a good episode.
that was a really good episode. I had a lot of fun tonight
Me too.
with you, and I hope everyone listening enjoyed. tonight because we really had a lot of fun making this.
Yes. Let us know in the comments other things you would like us to make episodes about or what you really liked about this one. I want to know what crazy fan fiction you guys have read.
Yes. Please tell me because this is my new. I don't know if I'm going to read more fan fiction, but I love reading about what fan fiction is about.
Oh, girl, I know that this unlocked something bad in me. I'm gonna have to. I found this cute one called The Three Hobbits that takes place, and it's really short. I'll send it to you. It takes place 3 years after Frodo left. And I read it and I was like, oh, so I don't
That's
know. You might get
cute.
sucked in.
I might, and I probably will. And I know earlier I said that I didn't like stuff like that, but you know what? I'm gonna go in with an open mind because that sounds really cute.
Yeah, it was. And it was like I said, it was really short, just a little snippet. But I'm like, I can actually see myself writing little snippet ones like that too.
And who
Fuck.
knows?
You know what we should do? You and I should rewrite The Cursed Child.
Yes, because I still get anger when I think about parts of that book. Overall, it was good, but there were parts
Asinine.
I can't even speak. I'm so angry thinking about those parts.
I won't get you started, but something to think about.
Yes. Well, thank you, Clover, for sitting with me and trying to sip all this tea, but we cannot.
I'm choking like Fiona on it.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna cry.
Oh, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye bye.
Bye. Oh my God.